Hey guys, welcome to the Investor's Guide of Memphis Real Estate. I'm your host, Dean Harris, and as always, I'm with Douglas Skipworth. How are you, buddy?
Hey man, doing great.
We're bringing you this podcast to give you the boots on the ground knowledge to be a successful real estate investor here in Memphis, Tennessee. Please like and subscribe to the Investor's Guide of Memphis Real Estate on our YouTube channel, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Facebook, wherever you want to listen to it. Show sponsors are listed on your screen below there. We could not do this podcast or run our personal rental business without these guys. We've got Triumph Construction, River City Title, Corland Financial, CrestCore Property Management, and Will Griffin with Griffin, Clift, Everton, and Mashmeyer. I help buyers and sellers every day. Dean at CrestCore.com. If you would like to get on our buyer profile list and get all the buyer houses that we source, we can put you on there. If you have anything to sell here in Memphis, Dean at CrestCore.com. How's it going, bud?
Great.
Yeah, last week's podcast was great. We talked about the market shifting. We talked about how things are going over to the buyer side. The reception I got from that was killer.
Yep.
We have continued to send out offers on those lower, some of the lower prices. We're getting our activity on average has picked up. So last week was really great.
Awesome.
Today, I thought we'd piggyback off that a little bit and tell you what's working here. And what I mean by that, what properties are investors actually getting under contract? I don't like to give people's live information out on here, but I do have some info on the 3-4 possible strategies that are working that we have clients that are under contract.
Okay. Gotcha.
The biggest and the baddest and the best, right? Might as well just start there.
Burr. Yeah.
We're going to buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and repeat. 1B and 4 R's. That's our Bur strategy. We didn't coin that. Bigger Pockets did. That strategy's been around a long time. I don't know who would have actually come up with that, but Bigger Pockets kind of coined that strategy. But the Bur strategy is one I've used 40 some odd times myself. I've got clients that have used it endless times over and over again. I know you've used the Bur.
Yeah, it's the first thing I ever did was a Burr. I bought it. Rehabbed it.
Went through the whole thing.
Rented it out, refinanced it, and then I went down and bought a house 5 doors down the street and did it again. Yeah,
and that's what I love about it. We're going to spend a few minutes just on each one of these, but that's what I love about that Burr is if you're cash strapped or don't have a whole lot to put into it, if you find the right house that will appraise for the right amount, which is what we try to shoot for, you can 100% Burr it.
Yes.
Which just means that if you bought a home for 200, the ARV is 200,000, you bought it for 100 and you put 40 into it, you've got a 20% equity stake in there. You got plenty of room in there. You can refi that house and get all of your money back, put it into a 15, 20-year note or what have you. So it's a very popular strategy. It's we can go through that a little bit further.
There's some episodes we've done before. It's great. I mean, Burr in Memphis
it's always been there.
It's always been there. It used to be called value add. We've talked about that, where you just buy it and re-add the value that was formerly there.
Forced equity.
Yes, all of those things. It's Burr. Burr is
it sounds way more
the common man's way to say it. You know?
It's way cooler for me to say Burr than all those other fancy words. Forced equity. There's a new one that's been floating around, and we've gotten about a half a dozen of these under contract the last few weeks, and it's been a real pivot for my team and Allie, our team agent. Yeah. Partial Burrs.
Partial rehabs.
What's that?
Partial rent.
So let me give you an example of a partial Burr.
Okay.
$150,000 ARV. Let's say. And you might, I'm doing this off the cuff here.
You are.
150 ARV, 100 and let's say 130, let's say all in. We bought it for 100. We put 25 in rehab and we had 5 in closing costs or whatever. We're at 130,000 all in. This does not work for a complete 100% Burr.
To get all your money back.
To get all of your money back. Because 20% of 150 is 30 grand. You don't need to be in for more than 120.
However, to get all your money back.
To get all your money back.
To a
true 100% Burr.
Gotcha.
Now, the partial Burr that no one's coined that we're just doing here would be this example. You're in for 130. You have to leave the $10,000 into that in order to get your 80% loan to value ratio. So you're going to leave that 10 grand in the property. You're going to get the rest of your money back, your 110,000 or 15 that you put into it, but you're not going to get that last $10,000 back in this example.
Okay.
You're going to leave it in the house. Now, why would I do that?
Yeah.
Well, because if you bought a $150,000 house that was in great shape somewhere, you'd have to come up with $30,000 in cash on a conventional finance loan.
Like a turnkey,
Like
perhaps.
a turnkey property. Yeah, which we've, here we go, push the button, because we've sold against that for years.
Because if you get a $150,000 turnkey property,
yes,
and you're going to have to pay $150,000.
Yes.
And you're only going to be able to borrow $120,000.
Yes.
So you're going to have to put down $30,000 in cash
that you're never going to see again unless you sell it. If you're a long-term rental holder like we're talking about here, you're not, that money's gone.
Mm-hmm. So you're talking about just putting 10 down.
Because we had to.
With the same Burr, same type of rehab.
Because what we're going to do, the Burr rehab is getting the home in the same condition as the 150 turnkey. So when you buy a $150,000 turnkey house, you're essentially buying someone else's profit. And that's been a sensitive topic around here. That's fine. But what I am here to do this show is for my clients and for what is the best product and what's working.
A Burr or a partial Burr.
I'm seeing Burrs and partial Burrs get there. I'm not seeing the turnkey traditional and 20% down properties work on my team and with what I source and send out. That's not working.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people say, well, wait, you got this great turnkey property. It's in good shape. Why would you not want that? That's a great question. But what we go through on that Bur Strategy, when we bought it for $100 and we had to put that $30,000 into it, we put a new roof, we painted the thing, we've got some flooring in there, we've updated our appliances, we've got everything working.
New HVAC, new plumbing,
new plumbing, whatever it takes. And will it take more than that? Maybe. But what I'm trying to give you the example of in this situation is you're only leaving $10,000 in essentially the same product versus $30,000.
You're getting a $20,000 discount.
Yeah.
Is what you're doing.
Yeah. And here's I'll play the other side of the coin. I'll play the turnkey. Yeah, well, you got to go through the rehab and you got to trust everybody and you've got to be there. I know that.
Who are your show sponsors?
Everybody that is on that show list helps us get through the Burr. We've worked with them repeatedly. They're in town and we know them. Yeah, nobody's new on that list. We've had a name change with River City. I mean, with April, but we haven't had any. She's the same person that's been closing my deals for 10 years. So what my point to this is that you are in safe hands here. We've built this entire business around that. So when someone else in a turnkey environment or whatever says you can't trust that process, I beg to differ. I've got live examples of me doing them.
Yeah.
So don't get caught up in that. I'm going to struggle with the rehab to get there portion of it.
Mm-mm. You should, not with these trusted providers.
No. So partial Burrs.
Partial
Burrs. Got a Burr, full Burr, you get all your money back. You don't leave any money into it. It's an excellent property. We get those still, not as many with market shifts. They're just not as many. Partial Burrs, we're seeing way more of.
Yeah.
And it isn't $10,000 every time.
Yeah.
I got one under contract on Monday. The guy left $7,000.
Okay.
Under contract after the inspections and after the appraisal and after everything. He left $7,000. I've had some leave 2 or 3. I've had some leave 15. It was a $250,000 house, but they wanted that thing.
Yeah.
It just didn't work out for them. Great house, great shape, brick, all
awesome.
the check marks on the plus side. Partial Burr. Because if you're going to be in it for a long haul and you're going to be here, it makes the most sense to get the right property. I mean, I think location. The entire, that's not a new thing in real estate. You want the right property. Is it because I think what happens is a lot of investors get way more caught up in the strategy and how to buy them and get tangled up in the webs of, I need to do this way because so-and-so, or I've read, or I've done this. Man, that's so that's limiting. You're actually putting roadblocks up on your own. Could you imagine traveling down the road and throwing up your own roadblocks? What the hell? Yeah. It's like, so my point to this is that there are things that are working here that have not been traditionally talked about in the past. Because someone would say, well, that's not a Burr. You're not burring that. Yeah, I got it. That's why we're calling it partial Burr. It's something completely different, but something that you can hang on to. That's good. Third thing that's working here, 1% rule. We are seeing the 1% rule. Do you want to explain what that is?
1% rule being the monthly rent is 1% of the purchase price or the all-in price or whatever price you're calling. So let's go back to your $150,000 ARV example.
Yep.
$1,500 rent. 1% of that ARV.
$150,000.
$150,000 house, $1,500 rent. That's the 1% rule.
And we're finding that. I can get that I can probably go from 80,000. I don't recommend an $800 rental here for out-of-state investors, but I'm telling you what I'm finding. I can find 80 up to probably 165 to 175. Few of those. I can get maybe into the 2000s for 200 grand. I mean, that is probably going to need a little more work, but anyway, solid up to that 150, 160,000 range. We can find those.
It's the 1%ers. After that, it just starts getting below 1%. You might pay 300. You have a client pay $300,000 for a house. Maybe you rent it for 2,500.
Oh, all day. And that makes sense for cash buying investors. It makes sense for some that can get.
But it's not. It's a little bit below the 1% rule.
Yeah. Now the higher price value you go and the higher the rent, the more tolerance you're going to have for something below there because of the location and the class. The person that's buying those is their A-class property. So you can have a little bit more leeway as you go. The lower you go, the tighter you want that to be, and maybe even it switches over to a 2.1 or 2.2 or 2.5 or whatever it might be.
On the
I'm 1.2, 1.4, whatever.
I was going to say, man, you're talking 10, 20 years ago kind of numbers.
Yeah,
where you could get 2.0 per 2% roll.
I think I have two of those.
Where you bought something for 50 that rents for $1,000.
Yeah, long time ago.
Long time ago, man. Long time ago.
That's the long lost girlfriend, man. That's your high school sweetheart there, buddy. She slipped through the grips.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, 1% rules, those are working. We're finding a whole lot of those. Partial Burrs and Burrs are working. Turnkey properties, as we've mentioned, I don't sell a lot of those.
Yeah.
I've had a doctor before buy them.
Yeah.
He has to remain extremely passive and didn't particularly care about his return. He just needed to park some money. So I've run into that. But what I've really found is that this Bur strategy, partial Bur strategy, you just have so much more control, Douglas. Like, and what I mean by that is, the condition of everything you just replaced, when you did it, who did it.
Yeah.
And you just have a little bit more of a understanding of where the property's at. Yes, a turnkey is new and everything is technically new. But one thing I also caution with those is, like, oftentimes when a turnkey provider goes into a market and buys a home and they fix it up, it's likely the nicest property on the street. Mm-hmm. They are going to be able to get higher rent than most any other property on the street and in the neighborhood, unless there's another turnkey property, right? Mm-hmm. So what I fear in that situation is, if you're a long-term investor and you're holding that turnkey, property for 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 years,
if you pay full market price.
If you pay 150 grand like we gave in this example earlier, you can't turn around and sell it without taking a loss right away. You just can't.
Even closing costs.
You just can't do it.
Yeah.
But you're going to get that high rent for a year, and maybe if they stay that second year, you'll continue to get that high rent. But little Susie's mom got a job somewhere else, and they got to move. Well, they had 3 kids in the house and 2 dogs. And you come in and now, oh man, this turnkey property needs some lipstick. And what that means is, we usually put in hard surface floors. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt that the kids and the dogs didn't tear those up. You got paint throughout the entire thing. Yep. You're going to have to update some utensils and appliances in the kitchen and in the bathrooms, and you're going to have to go through some of that. It's about 10 grand, I bet.
Yeah, I was thinking 10 minimum.
So now you're at 2 years and you got 10 grand back into it. Now you're at 160 grand you've all put on this thing. Are you going to be able to get that full market $1,600 rent or even $1,500 again? Maybe. Let's say it sits there for a minute though, and you're down to $1,400. Now repeat that process 3 times over the next 5 and 6 years. Maybe your rent goes up, the market goes up, and you're settling down at 150 again and 1,500 again. But you still have the same market house that everyone else had paid 130 for, 125 for, that you paid 150 and 160 for. So there's a live example of why I believe buying a Bur strategy property with someone who has done it and completed it and has all of the vendor partners to give you, because that's what they're going to sell against. Hey, everybody's in-house. That's great. We got them all right here. Sweet. So I've got everything set up the same exact way. Good. I talk to them the same way. I have the same kind of access. So we could beat that to death. That's good to hear what
people are seeing.
That's what working. This is what's working. That was the intent for today's podcast. Is I just wanted to make sure that we went through last week was really good about how I want you to shift and start making changes and start doing this, that, and the other, because this is a buyer's market. I thought this week
this
would
was
be a
the
good idea
follow-up
to show you what is working and what you need to start making those offers.
Yeah. That's great.
Anything else, Dad?
No, man, awesome.
All right. If you got any questions, Dean at CrestCore.com. Appreciate you tuning in. Check you next time.